but played well enough in stretches. They really bottled up Malcolm with that zone. And, we got some good looks and just didn't convert, and that happens. But I'll tell you guys in this opening statement, I usually don't, what I told them. I just told it to Lewis Johnson for CBS. He asked me, what do you say to a group of guys like this for all they've done for your program? And what I told them, and I think it's right, I was reminded, I don't know if it's an old church song or not, but it says, weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. And we will have some tough nights because you're so close you could taste it, but absolutely joy will come in the morning for what these guys have established for Virginia basketball. My gosh, I mean, where it was when they got here, all the guys that have helped get it to that, there will be joy. And I'm just so thankful to have coached them. And I know every coach says that at this time, but it's not lip service. It's real. And does it sting? Does it hurt? Absolutely. I'll look back through stuff. I'll watch the film, and I'm sure there'll be things that I'll look at, and all that stuff will come. But proud to have Anthony and Malcolm and Mike and Evan and Kate, those guys. So I know it doesn't feel that way, but I know it will be true.
We'll take questions at this time. Reminder that we have microphone holders on both sides of the room. Please raise your hand, and please identify yourself when you have a question. We'll start in the middle.
Yeah, Doug Dowdy. Obviously, Syracuse had some success with its press the other night. Why did it give your team so much trouble?
Yeah, we got a couple easy buckets, just like we did against Iowa State, and then a couple times we actually got to the hoop, and either they called the travel. We didn't finish on a couple of those that I think were key. And they're athletic. They did that and bothered some people. They did it to, again, Gonzaga, even at our place. They're long and athletic, and they're such good anticipators because I think all the work they do in the zone. And, a couple of those turnovers at just the wrong time were enough. And then they, as I said, came down and converted. I think it was 15 to 2 points off turnover. Some of the plays they made either at the rim, got going a little fast, and then made some tough contested shots. Plays were made.
Stay in the front row.
Mike Barber, Richmond Times-Dispatch. For Malcolm and Anthony, 15-point lead with 9.5 to go. What was kind of the mindset then, and did you feel like you guys let up, or was it just their charge?
The mindset was to stay aggressive, but be sure with the ball. I think they had a charge. I think they made plays. I think we didn't get stops when we needed or rebounds when we needed. But at the same time, I don't think we looked for our shot in the zone as much on the outside. I think they were able to sink in a little bit and not let us get the ball in the middle as much because I don't think we were being as aggressive outside of the zone as we should have been. But, yeah, you got to give credit to them. They made plays.
Anthony?
Yeah, I would second that. When they threw that press on us, we didn't really handle it in the best fashion. We got a couple of turnovers that really wasn't what we do, and I credit to them because they hit shots and they made plays when they needed to, and we couldn't get stops. We couldn't keep them out of the lane, and it's just something that UVA basketball doesn't pride itself on, and that's what happened tonight, and that's how they were able to get back into the game.
Go on the left side.
David Teal with the Daily Press. Malcolm and Anthony, you heard Coach's opening statement as he shared what he told you guys in the locker room. Is it difficult at this moment to process what happened and that it was in your grasp, or are you able to realize just how much you brought to this program and all you accomplished?
Malcolm, you want to take that?
It is difficult, but at the same time, you start to reminisce, you start to remember all the good times you've had, and you start to realize how special these guys sitting next to you and that are on the court with you, how much they mean to you, how much your coaches mean to you, how much you've learned from them, and just how much you've enjoyed your experience in your college career. Sometimes we get caught up so much in playing the game, trying to win every game, being so focused. I'm a very locked-in guy, rather than just smelling the roses. And now we can smell the roses. We can enjoy what we've established.
Right here in the front row.
Anthony, Paul Woody, Richmond Times-Dispatch. 4 for 4 from the field, but just 4 shots. Was it their zone that was collapsing on you? I know there were some foul issues in there, but the ball just didn't seem to get inside like it should have.
Yeah, that's just the way, that's usually how it goes when we play Syracuse. Because I am playing in the back line, both me and Mike Toby are playing on the back line, and if the ball can't get into the middle, and they were really collapsing down on the middle, we can't really get the ball down there. So that's just something that just the way it goes. It wasn't anything special that they were doing. That's just the way the offense is set up today.
On the left side on the aisle.
Jeff White, VirginiaSports.com. Tony, they got a bunch of good three-point shooters on the team, and for the longest time, Leiden was the only one Syracuse player who had made a three. Did you think it was inevitable that Richardson or Cooney or Benajay would get going like they did late?
Well, that's indicative of how they've played, like how they beat Gonzaga. They have some playmakers. We did a good job early. I thought we made it hard. We got contested shots. And then a few breakdowns, and I think off those turnovers they got momentum and did hit a few contested shots. They're so good off the bounce and freezing you or getting some of those. And they're a resilient team. I mean, they just kept battling. They did that in the tournament, and then all of a sudden they separated. And that zone is hard to score quick against too. So it was a matter of time. And then Devin got a great look at the end. We got some looks. You have to knock down some threes, I think, to loosen it, and all you can do is try to take the good ones. But they made some plays, and that, for a freshman to do that in that setting, both of them, and then obviously they're experienced guys with Cooney and Benajay, it's the difference.
Go back here in the front row.
For Mike and Anthony, you guys have been sort of poised under fire many times this year. When they started to make that run, was there any sense of this is slipping away, things don't look good for us, or did it just seem like, another run in a game that you guys would withstand?
Well, when they started coming back, I mean, we noticed it. I mean, we had a big lead and then it was slipping away. But I don't know. I guess we'd have to watch the game over to see if we really kind of lost our poise. But I think they made some really tough shots. I mean, I know Richardson especially was making some real contested shots. But I think it was the defense before that when we weren't necessarily when he was starting to get going. By giving him open shots, that's kind of gave him confidence to make some of those tough shots. So, I think.
Go back on the left side.
Tony, I don't know what the exact score was, but with about a minute to go, Syracuse missed a shot and got an offensive rebound. And rather than foul, you let them milk more clock.
Right.
In hindsight?
Yeah, we've been in that spot before. I thought. Thought crossed my mind, should we foul, try to extend it? We've done that in the past, but we got the stop, and I just thought we were having a hard time, getting the looks. I thought, let's get one stop, come down, and we had a chance, and maybe we needed more chances to tie the game. Devin, I think Malcolm made a heck of a pass. He got in there, kicked it, so there's a chance to at least tie it and then get that into overtime. But that's always a thought, do you foul, extend it? Or do you just get a stop? And we chose to get a stop, and we actually did, but we couldn't get. There were some crucial offensive rebounds that were costly, and that some either hot or long misses. And they're very good, obviously, offensive rebounders because you look at the 12 offensive rebounds. But absolutely, it was a thought, and maybe I should have when I look at the tape.
Go right here in the front row.
For all the players, I know you're disappointed, probably bitterly disappointed. Is shock a part of what you're feeling now as well?
I would say, just being so close to something that you wanted for so long, I would say that's the biggest shock. We had a big lead and we let it go. So I guess there is a lot of shock in that. But like Malcolm said, we've done so many great things here, and we're not gonna hold our head over this one loss that we had. Of course, you want to go further because it's just right there. But we've done so much great for this university, and this university's done so many great things for us as well.
Go on the left side.
Tony, is it typically your strategy to try to attack the press and, if you get a 2-on-1 opportunity to just go to the rim instead of trying to, maybe run some clock or whatever?
Yeah.
And have you guys ever struggled, with a press like that before?
We've had some trouble against presses, but we've had such success attacking it and getting points on the board. And there's maybe a couple we got going a little fast. We could have backed out. That perhaps could have been. I got to watch the tape and get a feel for it. But when you have 2-on-1s or 3-on-1s, I think you have to look to take it. And again, so I'm okay with what I saw, but perhaps I'd change my mind. Maybe there's one or two we could have backed off. I think it was more of the turnovers, whether it was, a ball that went out of bounds and there's a little miscommunication when we were inbounding it that hurt us. We scored a couple of those, but not enough.
Right back here in the front.
Yeah, Malcolm, could you talk a little bit about the press? Obviously, everybody's talked about it, but seemed like you attacked it, and you've had some success attacking it in the past.
They pressed us at the end. It was a good press. I think we had some success. We just couldn't finish on the other end. Maybe a few miscommunications on some turnovers. But for the times that we did break the press, we just didn't finish the play at the end of we just didn't finish at the end of the play.
Right back in front.
For Anthony, you guys are all sort of showing a lot of poise in this situation. What was the locker room like, and did any of you kind of stand up to say anything, or did you just let Coach kind of say what he wanted you to hear at that point?
It was a lot of emotion in there. Of course, we've been together for so long, and for it to end like it did tonight, and when we were so close, of course, everybody's emotion is going to be really high. But Coach Bennett, he gave us a great talk and told us how much we really meant to him and what we meant to this university. The experience that we get from playing college basketball, especially with guys who've been together for so long, is something that you just can't find anywhere. It's a special thing, and for it to end like that, of course, there's going to be a lot of emotion.
Go to the fourth row on the aisle.
Yeah, Tony, London obviously was red hot in that first half. What did they do differently defensively? Maybe the press was a big reason why, but why wasn't maybe he as much of a factor in those last 20 minutes?
Yeah, well, to start the second half, we liked it because they were starting to come out, and we really got the ball into the high post, got a quick high-low to start the second half, and it opened up the middle more because you have to touch the paint against that, and London hit some long ones. But, they were aware of him. Of course they were. They shaded him, and that's where we tried to be a little more middle-oriented or attack the high post and play out of that, which we did. And got it in there, but it's a good zone. It's a good defense, and again, if Malcolm said, you got to stick a few jumpers, you got to look for them. But there was good stretches of it, but they made the plays, and then coupled with offensive rebounds, turnovers, those X factor things, I think that's the difference.
We'll go to the second row.
Malcolm, apologize if this has already been asked, but Richardson, what made him such a tough cover? He looked like he was able to kind of get to the rim and also, hitting those threes and stuff.
He's a extremely talented freshman. He has a hesitation to his game that makes you freeze a little bit, and he can shoot it from range and he can get to the rim. So, I thought we struggled with him all game. He was able to get to the line, and I think that really hurt us. But with guys like that you let them get their confidence, you got to make them uncomfortable, and we didn't make them uncomfortable and get into them as much as we needed to.
Any further questions? Right here in front.
Tony, I know it's a good
Is there
zone.
one for them? They can probably get it, yeah.
If we can take them for the student athletes first, and then we'll let them be dismissed.
Okay, it's for Malcolm, I guess. It's a very good zone. Early on, it seems like you guys were shooting from the perimeter more than going inside. Was that because you couldn't get it inside, or was this a strategy to open up the zone?
I'll answer that if you asked. I think we probably did get a little shot happy, from the outside, and then we started denting it a little more aggressively and trying to get it. But it's hard to just get a pass in to Anthony, and we probably shot a couple. I don't know if we settled, but a couple quick ones, and then we regained our composure, and I thought that was the difference.
Are there any further questions for coach or student athletes? All right, gentlemen, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
I thought they were getting dismissed. That's why I thought they were getting dismissed.